know y'all can see it. Let that sink in. That's crazy, ain't it? Alright, now let me get to my video.
Stephanie Winkler joins us this morning. Stephanie is a fourth grade teacher in leave from Madison County Schools, currently in her second term as the state president of the Kentucky Education Association. She represents 45,000 members of the KEA, which includes active teachers, classified school employees, retirees, and pre-service teachers as well. Stephanie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Larry. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the Big Dog this morning, and I'll tell you what, I never in my wildest dream realized that a statement on my station would ravel so many feathers. So we invite you to come and speak on behalf of the teachers this morning and kind of clarify and verify a little that interview and give us your thoughts.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the opportunity. It certainly has caused a firestorm of genuine emotion and brings to light a lot of issues, good or bad. But I did want to specifically address some of the comments made by the governor. He used phrases to describe people like me and my colleagues like selfish, short-sighted, misinformed, and ignorant. And I just want to start by giving some examples of here's how selfish some of the people in Taylor County are. Let's take, for example, Troy Young. He's a retired high school math teacher from Taylor County. He spent his entire career not just teaching math, but he spent his nights, his weekends, not just being a high school basketball coach, but volunteered his time after school, before school, on the weekends, tutoring students in math for free. He did ACT prep with students. He helped kids prepare for AP exams. And he's retired now, as I said, but he still is doing free tutoring for students as a retiree. He's still a public servant. That's how selfish we are as educators. Here's another example of how selfish we are, Governor. Tanya Rogers. She's a fellow fourth grade teacher. I've known she teaches at Taylor County Intermediate. This woman initiated a program called the CARE Coalition at the school. And they have taken all their employees at that school and had one-on-one mentoring programs so that no student went without an adult that they could trust to go to if they have issues or problems, just need to vent, talk their struggles with. She buys school supplies just like every other educator, just like every other custodian, paraprofessional, or a bus driver that buys a backpack or school supplies for their students who don't have them. She also picks a student a month to provide for anything that they need, whether it's clothes or a pair of shoes, anything that student needs for the month. She takes that out of her pocket and makes sure that those kids are taken care of in her fourth grade classroom. Let's talk about this short-sighting, the future of not just public education, but public service in general. All public service workers go into their professions to serve the public. They're not asking for big fat cat salaries. They're not asking for anything more than to be fulfilled as an individual to provide a life of service. In exchange for that, they only expect what they're promised at the time that they're employed. And that is a contract. It's an inviolable contract, which means it can't be broken. And public service employees have a contract that they feel like would have been put in jeopardy. And on several different counts, Senate Bill 1 would have violated that contract. Little do people know, there's just one example, just on the education front. There is currently one student enrolled in a teacher education program in this state that is majoring to teach physics. One.
Wow.
Now, you think about how many high schools teach physics, and there's only one person in that pipeline to fill those voids. There is very little these days that goes towards recruiting, attracting, and retaining quality public education employees into our profession. Let's talk about our classified school employees. That's the bus drivers, the aides, the cooks. Little do people know that a lot of these folks only work for health insurance benefits. Many barely make a living wage because of the number of hours that are limited by those positions. They all have second and third jobs to make ends meet. We have classified school employees that pay their school districts at the end of the month for working because their salary doesn't even cover all of their health insurance premiums. Ignoring these kinds of realities is what I feel like is short-sighted. Now let me talk about some misinformation, how misinformed folks are. The governor says that it's just a travesty that our retirees get a raise every year. Well, that's misinformation in itself. Our retirees don't get raises. They get what's called a COLA, a cost of living adjustment.
Right.
That, in fact, is prepaid when they're actively employed. It's not something extra that's costing more money. Our active employees prepay that COLA while they're working. And let's not forget that we're the only system that does that. There are, in fact, 8 different state retirement systems. The teacher retirement system and the CERS non-hazardous plan, which is what our classified employees contribute to, are only 2 of the 8 state pension plans. And whether you believe it or not, there's varying degrees of details within each of those plans that make it very hard to treat everyone the same. Without these cost of living adjustments, retirees that are age 70 and 80 right now, who were only making $2,000 and $3,000 a year when they first started their careers, would never be able to survive as a retiree. And here's some other information most folks don't know. Teachers in the state of Kentucky, they don't contribute to Social Security. They have a defined benefit pension plan because that's made to be a Social Security replacement. It is intended to replace the fact that there is no other income stream for a profession that's predominantly female, a lot of single females that don't receive death benefits from their spouse from Social Security because of a federal law that's in place. Some other misinformation is that we're not willing to give, that we are not willing to compromise. Most folks in Frankfurt that are making those laws seem to forget that in 2010, we came together with lawmakers, school districts, and employees, and we passed what's called the Shared Responsibility Plan. All those entities put in an extra percentage of payroll, extra money, to make sure that we never had to have another conversation about funding post-65 retirement health care costs. That fund has been growing exponentially and will ensure that the state doesn't have to have a conversation about teacher retiree health care. In 2013, the legislature also passed more reforms in the form of a hybrid cash balance plan for our classified school employees, which changed folks from the defined benefit. And it's only been 4 years since that plan has passed. But yet there's been no evaluation as to whether or not that's truly going to save our state any money, whether that type of plan is going to be healthy for the general fund of our state. Some other misinformation is that Kentucky is the highest average teacher salary of surrounding states. How many of those other surrounding states require every teacher within 5 years of becoming a teacher to have a master's degree, which automatically increases their pay on the salary schedule because it's based on their level of education and years of experience. Almost none. Teachers in Kentucky, as I said, also don't pay into Social Security. Their pension is almost a third of what they take home. So their salaries are not as large as what one might think because they are saving for their financial futures. This is not a one-sided conversation. It's not as if we're asking the government for a handout. We're asking them to take care of public servants jointly, employees, districts, and the state. And let me just talk about some truth.
I'm going to pause it right there. I got to do a part 1 and part 2. I apologize. So it's taking me away from it. I'm going to get right back with you in about 10 minutes. I'm going to double back with part 2. Bless up. Appreciate y'all coming through.